Hi students, welcome again, and we have today another session where we're going to discuss a general equation of a straight line. So basically what you are going to expect from this session, we are going to derive this formula here. We are going to derive this, and later on you are going to be comfortable to see where this is coming from, dear students. So for you to be able to understand the basic of this one, we refer to the book we are using. We are using actually from Form Mathematics book, and from our book, you can see this content here, the general equation of a straight line. So previously we have derived actually, we have seen the slope of a line with points x1, y1, x2, y2, but also there is a way you can consider another point P be any point on the straight line and join the points A and B, dear students. So I will just go straight forward to deriving the equation where you're going to see the general formula for a straight line like this one. So what we do, first of all, remember previously we have seen that actually y equals to m x minus x1 plus y1. This is equation of a line, but this is the case when you were given a point x1, y1. Now imagine you have a line with point A, point B, and according to the book we have, so point A and point B, A is going to be x1, y1, and B is going to be x2, y2. So if that is the case, here you have x1, y1, and here you have x2, y2, dear students. So the slope basically is going to be a change in y over change in x. I will consider the point P here, which is x comma y. So the slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. You can also consider y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. So we'll continue with this equation here. We have the general equation, and later on you are going to see that it is okay to come to this equation here. So from the equation we have, I will tell you that y being equal to m x minus x1 plus y1 and m being y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, I can substitute back the value of m into this equation, and we'll be having y equals to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. You multiply by x minus x1 plus y1. It is also possible that you can multiply, dear students, by x2 minus x1 both sides. And when we do that, we'll be having x2 minus x1 times y equals to y2 minus y1 in the bracket. You have another bracket x minus x1 plus y1 being multiplied by x2 minus x1. After this multiplication, dear students, you'll be having now this equation here, and I'm going to open, I'm going to expand this one here a little bit so that y and x is going to be separated. So you'll be having x2 minus x1 in the bracket multiplied by y equals to y2 minus y1 multiplied by x, then minus x1 being multiplied by y2 minus y1, then you have plus y1 in the bracket x2 minus x1. So be careful with this. Be careful with this equation because slowly now you are going to see the general form of the straight line. We know that x1, y1, x2, y2, these are given. They are values from the given points. So basically we can say that you can let that y2 minus y1 being multiplied by x1. So I can say that we can say that we can say that actually minus I'm sorry for this typing error again. We are going to say that minus x1 in the bracket y2 minus y1 plus y1 in the bracket x2 minus x1, you let this to be c, and you have x2 minus x1, you let this actually to be b, and you have y1 minus y2, you let this to be a. After this, you are going to see that this one here will be reduced to by equals to minus ax plus c. I will call this c1 so that when I combine them now, I'll be having by plus ax minus c1 equals to 0. And I'll just call minus c1, it is equal to c, so that eventually you have actually ax plus by plus c equals to 0. So this is the general equation of a straight line, and it is actually an equation we have derived. It is not necessary for you guys to be able to derive this general equation. The important part is to understand that equation of a line can be expressed in this form. And with this form, the important part is that actually you are able to manipulate any given equation of a straight line. So we do an example. Sketch the graph of straight line presented by 3x minus 4y minus 4y minus 24 equals to 0. So we are going to sketch uh, a straight line presented by the following equation. How do we do it? So here is the equation, and what we do, we are going to sketch so basically this is the question. Sketch the graph of straight line presented by 3x minus 4y equals to minus 24 equals to 0. So dear students, our equation is 3x minus 4y minus 24 equals to 0. With this equation, of course, you are going to find the x and y intercept, and I will say x and y intercept. So with x and y intercept, you'll be having x and y intercept table being tabulated here. So when x equals to 0, we're getting y intercept, and when y equals to 0, we're getting x intercept. So when x equals to 0, from here it means we'll be having negative 4y equals to 24. It means y is going to be negative 6. So you have negative 6. Then when y equals to 0, you'll be having here 3x equals to 24, and x will be equal to positive 8. So by using these two values, dear students, you are going to sketch a graph of this straight line. So let us sketch now the graph, dear students. Sketching the graph of this straight line. So this is very rough graph, an apology, because I'll be just using freehand. So we'll have y-axis and x-axis. So with y-axis and x-axis, mind you here it was 8 here, of course. So you have 0, negative 6. I can consider to be negative 2, negative 4, negative 6. So positive 2, positive 4, positive 6. Then for x, we'll be having 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and so forth. Negative 2, negative 4, negative 6. So this is just a rough sketch, dear students. So you have 0, negative 6 as one of the points, 0, negative 6. And also you have 8, 0 there. So you're going to combine these two. You're going to combine these two, dear students. You're going to combine these 2 points. An apology for such a rough graph, but this has to be a straight line, and the equation, dear students, the equation is going to be y. The equation is going to be y the equation will be 3x minus 4y, 3x minus 4y minus 24 equals to 0. So that is a roughly, the graph of a straight line according to this question here, dear students. To proceed with another part, let us continue. The gradient of the parallel lines to the y-axis. The gradient of parallel lines to the y-axis. When values of x do not change, that is x equals to x1 equals to k, where k is constant, then x minus x1 is going to be equal to 0, and therefore the slope is going to be undefined, dear students. The slope is going to be undefined. So when you have actually a line which is parallel, a line which is parallel to y-axis, a line which is parallel to y-axis like this, it means x1 is equal to x2, and if from the equation of the slope y equals to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, from here you can see that, dear students, there is no change in these values. You'll be having actually slope equals to y2 minus y1 over 0, and this is undefined. This is undefined, dear students. So geometrically, lines which have undefined gradient are parallel to the y-axis. I think this is very important information, that lines which are parallel to y-axis, they have gradient undefined. And the equation of the line are determined by the x-intercept. The equation of the line are determined by the x-intercept, dear students. So basically, you'll be having x equals to 1, x equals to 2, x equals to 3. Over here, you can have actually x equals to negative 2. Forgive my rough sketching, but here you can also have a line which is x equals to negative 3 and so forth, x equals to negative 2, x equals to negative 1, and so forth, dear students. Also, that is the gradient of a line parallel to y-axis. Now let us come to gradient of a parallel line to x-axis. And for that case, it means when you are going to consider my rough sketch here. So you're talking of a line which is parallel to x-axis, like this line here, for example. Now you'll be having points A and point B there. You're supposed to find the slope. Remember that the slope is change in y over change in x. So slope is going to be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So change in y is going to be the same. It's going to be 0, because in this case here you'll be having y2 equals to y1. So change in y is going to be 0 over x2 minus x1. And so the slope, dear students, will be 0. So for this case, actually, we have a 0 gradient, and the equation of line is going to be y equals to constant k. So we're having so many lines, like this line here, y equals to 1, y equals to negative 2. These are the lines which are parallel to the x-axis. So basically, students, this is how we are solving, questions. This is how actually we are dealing with straight lines. So next time we are going to solve some more questions, and this is going to be actually the task we'll be doing in the coming session. So until that time, dear students, I hope you are going to continue solving questions. And don't forget, our today's discussion, we were discussing actually a straight line. We were discussing a general form of a straight line, and we managed actually to derive the equation just as you have seen that the equation is leading to ax plus by plus c equals to 0. Thank you so much. Until next time, dear students, I wish you all the best in your mathematics learning journey. Peace.